We are pleased to welcome Erin Rohde this morning, who is a junior anthropology major with minors in women, gender, and sexuality studies and human resource management. She is a member of and treasurer for the Shirley Tempos, which is an all-female a cappella group here on campus. And in addition, she is a poet and avid reader and will chat with you for hours about music or anything else that you can think of. So please help me to welcome Erin, and if we could all just also take a moment to make sure our cell phones are silenced, we would greatly appreciate it, but help me to welcome Erin.
That was beautiful, Erin. Thank you. I'm Jan Register, and I am a member of the team here at the Truett Center. This morning, I have the pleasure of introducing our Newman Lumen speaker, who is Elon Senior Lily Kays. I've actually known Lily since they were in elementary school, and they were my down-the-street and around-the-corner neighbor, and I occasionally caught them in local community theater productions and school productions, amazing performances. Fast forward to senior year of high school, when Lily, clearly a 30-year-old in a 17-year-old body, came to the Newman Lumen Pavilion to interview for a job as student office assistant with me. I'm fairly certain that I have never met a more poised and confident teenager in my life. And I hired Lily on the spot. When I think of Lily, the first thing that comes to mind for me is passion, because Lily has many passions. To name a few: leadership, family, equity, music, student government, fight scenes, jewelry repair, friends, theater, Gurney Drive, LGBTQIA communities, little kids, directing, the Truett Center, justice, cousins, love scenes, senior class giving, and those they hold dear in their heart. Lily fills my days with 8 a.m. Monday and Wednesday jazz music, sweet stories of Mom, Dad, Jack, and Nona, incredible energy, drive, and determination, and spontaneous soliloquies about any and all subjects, complete with backup documentation, carefully chosen examples, and all delivered with perfect diction and elocution. I have great admiration for the fact that Lily has an opinion about literally everything. You are in for a treat. So without further ado, I give you the unique and splendid Lily Kays.
Oh my goodness, thank you for that introduction. So first off, thank you for the music, Erin, it was lovely. My friends, colleagues, and roommates can attest to this. I rewrote and agonized over what to say today. As Jan said, I'm a very talkative person, so seeing me at a loss for words was a shock to many. This year, the theme is me and my own words, and I sat and thought about what that meant to me. Honestly, speaking about myself at great lengths feels slightly self-indulgent and a little bit inappropriate. I also struggled with how non-specific the topic is. I really do crave parameters, and I love order in things. I have come to realize, however, that this broadness is a blessing, because it means that every single person who has come up here has had the opportunity to impart their own perspective, direction, and wisdom, and I'm honored to get to do the same. So my story starts with my parents. I was raised by two college professors. They are kind, funny, and very intelligent people, but above all else, they help build the foundation for the person I am today. I remember being in elementary school where most of other kids can say that their parents were a firefighter, a teacher, a doctor, lawyer, etc. But I would say my mom, Brooke, is a journalism professor with a concentration First Amendment law. Yeah. Except I never pronounced it right. I would call it First Amendment law because that's how fast my mom used to say it. I said that for about 10 years. My dad, Tom, is a cultural anthropologist working with the Choctaw tribe and is a folklorist. The average second grader just blinks at that, like a real deer in the headlights kind of moment. All of this to say, my parents' fields were often hard for me to understand when I was little, but they taught me critical thinking and my love for reading. They also gave me an integral part of myself, which is my curiosity and my need for answers. Another large facet of my personality is that I'm incredibly stubborn. My whole life I've been. When I was little, I said that I was either burning hot or freezing cold. I told that to my mom one day in the kindergarten line drop-off, and it really does explain how I feel about things in general. I have a really strong opinion on a lot of topics. My little brother, Jack, can definitely attest to this for when we were younger. When we were on a road trip, we watched the movie The Game Plan, the 2008 Disney film, probably about 100 times because I always managed to create an argument to argue for that film every single time. He has never seen a film he's enjoyed from the years 2004 to 12. Yeah. I used to think alongside the emotion angry, stubborn also had to mean only negative things. It was only when I was in early high school where I started to claim this in a positive light. I learned how to channel my stubbornness and my anger into passion and productivity. I'm so stubborn that I will not take simple answers. I really do want the nitty-gritty, and I want evidence and explanations. I am so stubborn that when things I know are wrong and unjust, I work to create solutions to support change. Like my father, my grandfather, and honestly most of my family, I'm a storyteller. For me, stories from friends and family are sacred. They are told over and over and again, sometimes the meaning changing after time. Stories can be funny, they can be cautionary, they can be something in between. One of my favorite stories when I was younger was the time I was in 8th grade. A friend and I were making shirts in support of gay marriage. This was around 2014, before it was federally recognized. And we had puffy paints and shirts from Michaels, and I chose to write in all huge caps, "Go Gays." Yeah, it looked like I had joined the Westboro Baptist protest, but I meant it in true and genuine support, like big ally energy. Little did I know, it was actually less ally behavior and more big lesbian energy, which ties into one of the most important identities I hold. As a lesbian, I went through middle school and a little bit into early high school in a phase of trying to date men. 2 Bens and 2 Lukes later, I thought maybe Bens and Lukes are just not it. And 2 years after that point, I thought and shifted to maybe men are not it. So this is my coming out story for you. It's a day in the fall of 2016, and I went with my high school best friend for a rally that President Obama was speaking at in support of Hillary Clinton. At the end of the speech, we ran like crazy people to the place that he was exiting, managing and hoping to shake Obama's hand. Spoiler, it happened, and it was the absolute best day of my life. It also happened to be National Coming Out Day. So, this being the absolute best day of my life, I decided to text my mom this message verbatim. Mom, it's National Coming Out Day, and I wanted to let you know that I'm gay, so tell the family because I'm posting it on Facebook. Yeah, which in retrospect is an absolutely hilarious thing to tell someone. My mom describes getting this and being in a huge work meeting, and after telling my dad, getting multiple texts in a row from him, he's like, Brooke, why wouldn't you call me? Like, this isn't a text memo, this is so exciting. I've decided to personally enlarge this story because it's very funny to me. So in my version, my mom jumps up in the middle of this senior staff meeting and goes, I've got to go, my daughter's gay, which I personally think is exactly what happened. Being gay is something that's always been really easy, made by my friends and my family. The town I lived in, less so. I grew up in Burlington, North Carolina. Pretty small, very conservative, and an environment that doesn't share a lot of the values that I hold or were modeled at home. I remember an event that really shaped and unlocked my passion for politics. It was the day after the 2016 election. Trump had won, and I felt unable to go to school. I was only 16, but I felt defeated. There were videos that surfaced later of a group of kids in my school running through the hallway with a Trump flag cheering. Yeah, it felt like a slap in the face to everything that I valued, but it unlocked a fiery passion that has only propelled me forward into adulthood. I talked a minute about stubbornness. This is one of the first moments that I felt it was being used for good. So everything I am, my personality, my stories, the things that make me myself are possible because my friends, my family, and my community, the people who allowed me to make mistakes, taught me how to fix them, and taught me how to make better mistakes. I believe really, really strongly in the concept of better mistakes. Learn from them, continue to try to be curious about the world, so much that when you mess up and try new things, you experience different results. So I started Elon here as an acting major, but soon realized that was not the path for me. Some people in my department and in my life would call that a mistake, but to me, it feels like a learning opportunity. Not only this, but I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and took a semester off of college in my first year, only to come back in the spring for about a month before the start of the pandemic. I'm purposely choosing not to elaborate and focus on my mental health because it's difficult to talk about, and where a year or two ago it felt like a chapter heading, right now it feels more like a footnote. So in my new major, political science, that I started my sophomore spring, I got to engage in conversations that were so focused on how I was raised, learning to defend arguments and really back them up with evidence. Last fall, I wrote my senior thesis, and I got to dig deep and write into research laws, policies surrounding voter access, something that I want to incorporate in my post-grad career. I got to read so well-written articles and books to break down and get the answers that I have always been taught to search and find. I was also a part of Student Government Association here at Elon for 2 years, both as the junior class president and the director of inclusion, as well as the senior class president and the elections chair. And SGA taught me how to value my worth, taught me the hard facts about growth and feedback and how to accept them even when they're really hard. I started mentoring a first year this spring, and I see so much of myself in her. And I'm not going to look at you because I see your face. Sometimes we catch ourselves saying the exact same phrase at the same moment, and I'm proud of her, but even more so, I am grateful that I get to be a part of her life because she's going to change the world one day. In college, I value community service. I give blood 2 to 3 times a year. I am working my way up to my first gallon. It is on my bucket list of things to do. I volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, Burlington Housing Authority, and I currently work as a coordinator for the Citygate Dream Center, which has slowly become my favorite way to spend a Wednesday evening. I believe in the servant leader model, and I am drawn to serve my community. And so with that, next year I will be a fellow in the Year of Service, a post-grad Elon Fellowship that I'm excited to see where it takes me. One more piece that creates a fuller piece of myself for you today, and small, but it's important, is that I love to rollerblade. I was taught by my dad, and it's a skill that I find not only useful because it gets me across campus in 10% of the time, but it brings me joy. And joy is something I try to find in myself and the people around me. So my girlfriend Jasper brings me this kind of joy. From trips to the farmer's market to cooking dinner together, when we both start laughing, that really deep laugh that shakes your chest and rattles your ribs until you ache, She embodies the kind of person that I knew I want to spend the rest of my life with. She takes me to my final piece, living in the world as a perpetual student. That's what I try to be, always willing to learn. But hey, I am 22, and there are so many moments that lie ahead. I'm ready to make better mistakes, to grow into my stubbornness, to serve my community, to continue to take life steps that put me in the places that people will uplift and honor me, and throughout it, find and protect my joy. Thank you.